Welcome in, everybody. I'm really happy to have you guys here. So, I was pondering today on what was it that I wanted to do my podcast episode on. I've had some thoughts running through my head, but nothing really absolute, and nothing that I was like, yes, this. And so when this morning came and I knew that I wanted to record my episode this morning, I really had to ponder and I had to think about what is it that I want to talk about. And this week has actually been a very challenging week for me. I've had a lot of limiting beliefs come up, things that I thought that I had already cleared, thought I'd already kind of gotten a handle on it. They all just came rushing back to me this week. And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the triggers that I've been having, the fears and those reoccurring thoughts that I have been having, and I realized that is what I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you about the progress of our journeys, because it's not just like a linear, you go from here and you go to there and you never revisit, or you never have these limiting beliefs or these triggers come up again. It's almost like when you're progressing and when you're growing and when you're doing your inner work, sometimes it feels like you're just on this track where you're just doing this constantly and you're not actually progressing and you're not growing. And for those of you who are on my podcast and can't see my video, it's like you just feel like you're going in circles. You're just constantly going in circles and you're not getting anywhere, because you'll move through one trial or one trigger and you're like, okay, perfect, great. Like, we feel really confident about ourselves. We're not worried about the future. We're ready to manifest the life that we're wanting. And then you circle back around and all of a sudden you have a lot of fear and you have a lot of doubt about the future, and you have a lot of worries about whether or not this life that you just feel is for you is not going to come. And so you start dealing with those fears again. And if you're new to inner work, or even if you're not new to inner work, I'm not new by any means to inner work, and it's still so frustrating. It's so frustrating when you feel like you're right back there at square one and you're like, no, we got through this, we worked through this, we journaled through this, we healed through this. Like, there was so much growth that happened through this. Why on earth am I feeling these fears again? What you have to realize is that when you're doing inner work, the growth, it's more like a spiral staircase. So from a bird's eye view looking down, it looks like you're just going in circles and you're not getting anywhere, and it can be incredibly frustrating. But if you take a step back and you look at the whole picture, not just from the top looking down, you will notice that you are progressing up the staircase. So yes, you are going to experience similar traumas, or not traumas, you're going to be experiencing similar triggers or similar limiting beliefs, or similar doubts that you thought that you had already gotten over. But the truth is that you're never experiencing the exact same trauma, the exact same trigger, the exact same limiting beliefs. What you're experiencing is a different level of it. So this week, when I was going through the different triggers and the different limiting beliefs, it felt very similar to the limiting beliefs that I experienced in the past, but they were different. They were a higher level of those limiting beliefs, if that's even a way to explain it. So when I first experienced them, they were very, let's see, how do I want to explain this? They were very, I guess, basic, kind of. They were just like, these are the limiting beliefs that you have. And so I worked through those and I got through those. And then as my mind expanded, as my vision expanded, as my ability to want and desire bigger and better things, then now the limiting beliefs that I'm coming up against are pushing against those desires that I have. So way back when I was starting, or when I was first experiencing some of these limiting beliefs, they were, again, just the basic of, oh my gosh, is this even possible? And now that I've gotten closer to, okay, this is the exact life that I want, these are the exact things that I am manifesting to come into my life, now my limiting beliefs are pushing against those specific things. So instead of it being just a broader view of, is it even possible to have a better life than this? Is this all that I am made up for? That was my first, or the kind of the lower level of limiting beliefs. Now it's like, well, I desire this. I desire this type of income. I desire this type of a partner. I desire this type of a of the way that my family functions. I desire, this out of relationships. I desire this out of friendships and different things. Like, I have such a higher level of desire now that when I have those limiting beliefs, they can feel very similar to the same ones that I'd had, but they're not. Now it's pushing against my new belief, my new desire. And so it's 100% okay to feel the same trigger, I'm going to put quotations around that, the same type of triggers, because what that is signaling to you is that when you're being triggered with something, or when you're having limiting beliefs come up, it's almost like, when you watch a chicken, or I say a chick, or like a caterpillar, as they're struggling to hatch out of their chrysalis, or they're struggling to hatch out of their shell. What that struggle is proof of is that there is a way out. The chick wouldn't struggle if it didn't have the ability to break out of that shell. It never struggled in that shell until it became time for it to break out of the shell. Or the caterpillar, it was completely content being in that chrysalis for as long as it needed to be, until it was time for it to break out of that shell, until it was no longer serving it to stay in that chrysalis. And that's exactly how we are when we have our triggers. When we come up against those limiting beliefs, we'll be super frustrated because we're like, why are we doing this again? It's because you are now at a place in your inner work and your development that you are ready to break out of that old identity. So you set these goals, you set these desires of what you're wanting, and you're working towards it. You can be assured that right before you're ready to actually break out of that, you're going to have a trigger, you're going to have a limiting belief that you're going to have to struggle through, so that you can almost prove to yourself and prove to the universe, this is what I want. I am strong enough to make it through. I am strong enough to hold on to the desire that I have as I struggle to shed this old version of myself. Now, going back to the chick and the caterpillar, if they were to have quote unquote help, so if someone were to come in and intervene and be like, oh, here, little chick, let me help you real quick. I'm just going to take you out of the shell. And that way you don't have to struggle. Has anybody watched a chick hatch? There is some type of anxiety. I don't know if everybody's like this, but I have legit anxiety watching this chick struggle, because you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to help you so much. I don't enjoy watching them struggle to hatch. What happens is if I were to go in there and say, oh my goodness, little one, let me help you, and if I were to actually remove it from its shell, this chick is more likely to not thrive, and it's more likely to die, because it didn't have to go through its own struggle to prove to itself and to the world, hey, I am ready for this identity. I am no longer the chick in the egg. I am now the chick ready to be a part of this world. I have strengthened my muscles. Their bodies must go through that struggle so that they are strong enough to survive what comes next. Just because the chick has now come out of the shell does not mean that its life is made and it will never have struggles ever again. And that's exactly how we are. As we're going through these limiting beliefs, as we're going through these triggers, and as we're trying to pass through them to the place that we're trying to get to, if we do not go through those struggles, or if those struggles are taken away from us, we don't have the ability or the opportunity to strengthen those quote unquote or metaphorical muscles within ourselves so that we can now handle this new identity. If you go from the chick in the egg all of a sudden to the chick outside the egg with no struggle, it will die. If we go through, okay, well, this is what I want to have manifest in my life, and then we don't do the work that we need to now become that new identity, we will not survive in that new identity that we want for ourselves. There is something so valid in the struggle, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much when I'm going through it because it feels so hard. Just like I'm sure the chick and just like that little caterpillar, I'm sure they hate the process of the hatching. But when you go through that, when you face those triggers and you say, all right, I am feeling this. What do I need for myself? What is it that I need? How can I best support myself as I go through this struggle? When you show up for yourself, when you do your journaling, I journal so much and it helps me process and it helps me get what I'm feeling out and it helps me show up for myself. Journaling for me, or meditation, this is another really good thing, is it's really just proving to yourself that you're willing to sit in the struggle with you. That chick has to be completely committed to getting out of that shell. Otherwise, it will give up and die. We too must be 100% committed to getting through our triggers. And that means that we have to sit with ourselves. We have to sit with those uncomfortable feelings of fear, of doubt, of comparison, of whether or not we actually want this. And you have to sit with yourself through it. And when you do, the person that you are on the other side of it is stronger, is more able to hold and to live fully in the life that you are wanting. So we can't just give up. We can't just be frustrated that we feel like we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. We have to recognize that it is the struggle that makes the end worth it. Our human nature is to grow and to progress. We were born with it. It's innate. It's just how we are. We want to get better. And if you talk to any like athlete or any person who's working on their mind or people who are trying to achieve a goal, they will tell you that yes, the struggle was hard, but it was almost like if they had gone from making the goal to suddenly having the goal without going through the struggle, then achieving the goal has no meaning. It has no purpose. It's the struggle. It's what you learn and who you become through it that makes that end result actually worth it. So like, let's take somebody who does bodybuilding, for example. So say they were to set a goal of, okay, well, I want to be able to lift this amount of weights, or I want to be able to achieve this in a competition. And say they set that goal and suddenly they get the goal. There's no pride that comes from achieving the goal. You just have it. There was no struggle in it. There was no self-development. There was no working with yourself to be like, we've got this, we can do this. It is the struggle that adds, or that gives 100%, gives the value to what it is you're trying to achieve. So don't discredit the struggle. I know we hate it. It's not fun. I don't like it either. I hate the struggle. I wish I could go from point A to point Z, easy peasy, whatever. But I also know how we function as humans and how it is the struggle that gets us or gives us the joy, the satisfaction, the pleasure out of what it is we're going through. So there are so many mistakes that I have made in my life. So many. And there are times when I wish I could go back to my younger self and I could say, hey girl, we don't want to make this decision. That's not going to be enjoyable. That's not going to be fun. Please have the courage to say no. Like, so many times I wish that I could go back and I could talk to my younger self and be like, let's not do that thing. That thing causes us so much pain down the road. Like, let's not do that. But there's a couple things here. One, that's 100% impossible. You cannot go back and change the past. You have to just continue moving forward. But also, if we believe and we know that it is the struggle that adds value to where you end up, we also have to know that sometimes our mistakes, the things that we wish we hadn't done, or things that we wish we would have made better decisions around, sometimes those are the things that have pushed us to become who we are today. So instead of beating yourself up and being angry with younger you, just say, hey, I am grateful that even though this choice was made, look at you. You continue to work, you continue to progress, you continue to grow. Like, the tenacity that I, as my younger self, had to continue to push and continue to try to become the version that I am now, I am so proud of her. I am so grateful that even though a hard thing was chosen, through that, she never gave up. She kept trying, she kept working, and she kept becoming. And because she showed up the way that she did then, I now have the opportunity to show up as I am now. And because of the heartache and the hard things that I went through then, I now have so much more empathy. I have so much more compassion for myself and for others. I have so much more confidence in myself, because I know that even though I went through something really hard, I have come out on the other side stronger and better. Like, that grows confidence. Again, those struggles, it grows your ability to trust yourself, to know that, hey, even though things are hard, I'm still moving forward. I'm still progressing. I'm still becoming. And so trials, mistakes, problems that you've had, those, when we can stop looking at them as mistakes, as issues, as things that you wish you could change, you need to stop living in the past and being like, I wish I could have changed this. I wish this didn't happen. I wish that I would have made a better decision. That's fine. But wishing is not going to change the fact that you are in this position. It's not going to change the fact that you did go through the things that you've gone through. What you can do is you can have compassion for that younger version and say, hey, I love you. Thank you so much. Instead of being angry with her, that allows you to then turn from the past and move towards the future and say, okay, because of the things that I went through, because of the things that I've experienced, I now have this, and this. And you wouldn't have had it otherwise. People that have never gone through anything painful do not have the same level of empathy and compassion that people who have gone through pain do. Like somebody who's never lost a parent, somebody who's never lost someone close to them, does not have the same level of compassion and love for other people in that situation as those who have. Like, your greatest pain is how you are able to connect and love people in this world. I believe that so much. If I had never gone through the things that I had gone through, I never would have gained the compassion and the love for other people that are in that situation. I understand things at a level that I never would have if I had never experienced the trauma that I have experienced, or the pain or the hurt that I've experienced. And so instead of wishing that you hadn't done something, or instead of wishing that things could be different, maybe start looking at it as, okay, what did I learn? What can I now take into this next stage in my life? And how can I show up better? How can I be here to serve and to help other people? Because the truth is, we are all looking for connection. We are all looking for people to empathize with us, for people to help us on our journey. We all are. I know that the only thing that really helped me continue to move forward, even though I was in a really hard, dark place, the thing that moved me forward was other women who had experienced similar things to what I was experiencing. And they were like pulling me along, like, it gets better, it can get better, like helping me to recognize my own value, my own worth, and my own identity. When I started to follow these women and really connect with them, that's when I was able to start on my healing journey and start to grow and start to realize I there's more. I can be better. I can be different than the way that I have been. And it was their pain and trauma that led them to being my mentor and my helper. So we were sent to this earth to struggle. We were sent to this earth to work through triggers, to work through traumas, because we are all humans living in this human world, and we're all experiencing things where we need support. We need each other. So love yourself through the triggers. Love yourself through the trials, because as you're breaching and coming into this new version of yourself, you are opening up space for you to now reach back and help the people behind you. So while it's not fun and while it's hard, it is what makes us human. And it is what helps us be able to then connect to the world around us. I think that there is just something so beautiful in knowing that through your struggles, through your trials, through things that have hurt and broken you to places that you didn't think you could be, those are the things that then give you the power to turn around and help someone else up the mountain, help someone else get to where they need to be. That I feel like is that coming full circle. Yeah, what I went through wasn't fun, but I honestly don't know if I would change it. Like if I was suddenly given the opportunity to go back and be like, all right, younger Adele, are you going to make this decision? Are you going to say yes? Or are you going to say no? I don't know if I would actually give that up, because as painful as it was, as hard as it was, I've learned so much, and I've become this version of myself. And I like this version of myself. This version of myself is very compassionate. This version of myself is very future oriented. This version of myself is willing to sit with me in the triggers. She's patient, she's kind, she's hardworking. Like, I love this version of myself. And would I have been that version of myself if things had turned out differently? I don't know. But I do know that it's best, instead of wishing things could be different, instead of being angry at yourself for having the same triggers coming up or feeling like you're doing all of the same things over again, really just trust the process. Trust that you are the chick hatching. And you are showing yourself that you are ready for this new life. This is what you want, and you're willing to dig deep and do what is required to become the person who can handle that new version. The chrysalis. Get out of that chrysalis. Struggle, work, sit with yourself, love yourself through it, because that is what is going to prove to yourself that you are ready for that next level. When you give up, when you're like, oh, it's too hard, I'm not going to do this anymore. When you give up, you're letting yourself down. And what you're doing is you're telling yourself you're not worth it. You need to stick with yourself. Work through it. You've got this. I as much as I hate the pain of dealing with it, the person that I feel that I am on the other side, the way that I feel on the other side of it makes all of the pain worth it. When I finally get over that other side and I'm like, oh, I feel so good. I know that the things that I'm manifesting are coming. I can feel it. I can see it. I can experience it. You feel so, so good. So if you're in that struggle right now, and if you're not sure that you're going to feel good on the other side, please let me be the one that's going to tell you, yes, you will feel so good on the other side of this. Keep going. You have got this. You need to slow down and you need to let yourself just feel the pain of being in that place. See yourself as the chick. You're just working to get out of that shell. You're not going to stay there forever. This is not going to be forever. I promise you will get out on the other side of it. But first, you have to go through the struggle. If you want somebody to be your accountability partner, if you want somebody to help you with your mindset as you're working through this, I am here for you. There are so many coaches out there that you can connect with. Find someone that you resonate with and that you're like, okay, this person is going to help me. Because I cannot tell you enough how important it was for me to have other coaches, other people that I was looking towards and being like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. They were teaching things and helping me to change my mindset in ways that I didn't even know was available before. But when I started learning how to change the way that I was thinking, how to change the way that I was feeling about myself, how to change the way that I was feeling about the situation that I was in, all of those things, seeing that that was available, seeing that a whole different mindset was available, completely changed the way I was showing up. And it gave me the permission to become that version of myself, to start working towards that and start becoming the person that I really wanted to be. Not the person that was defined by her circumstances, but by the person that would say, okay, this is what I have been through. These are the things that I've experienced. Who do I want to show up and how do I want to experience the world? Like, who do I want to be on the other side of this? What is the woman that I want to be? Like, I get to choose. That was so fascinating to me when I learned that. Like, okay, just because I was dealt this hand or just because I experienced this doesn't mean I had to stay there. Like, I had the opportunity. I get to choose who I want to be on the other side of it. And that was exciting. So if you need somebody to help you out with that, you can check my links below. I'm available. If it's not me, find somebody, because there are so many incredible mentors out there. I love you. You have got this. Continue to visualize yourself as the caterpillar turning into the butterfly, or as the chick hatching from the egg. You've got this. You were created for this. You were made for this. That chick was made with everything that it needed to get out of that shell. That caterpillar was made with everything that it needed to get out of that chrysalis. And that is you. You were created with everything that you need. I love you. You've got this. It is so exciting to work through this and to feel the relief and the excitement and the what's it called? When you're just really, really proud of yourself when you're on the other side of it. Accomplishment, that's the word I'm thinking of. The accomplishment on the other side of that you did this. I love you. I will talk to you later. Bye.